Hello, welcome to this lesson on timber finishes. So please put that as your title and make sure it's underlined. Our objective today is this first point mainly, to understand what can happen to timber when it's exposed to the environment unprotected. So please just write LO and copy out that objective. We're going to move on to identifying examples of timber finishes and explaining the different finishes for different uses in our next lesson. Okay. As a little starter, can you make a mind map filling no more than 1/3 of the page? So put this towards the top, a small mind map, and write out what reasons you can think for applying a timber finish. Just maybe 2 minutes on this. Okay, I hope you had a good chance to do that. If you were really struggling, some points that you might want to add would be things like this: improving the aesthetics of timber, changing its colour. Perhaps that would make it more appealing. And you can see there's an image, the third one down, where the finish is actually making it look sort of shinier and glossier. There's reasons related to aesthetics. Other reasons you might apply a timber finish is to protect wood, reduce the chance of rotting, and to make wood tougher or more durable. So there are some points that you might have started with. Here's an example of what can happen to timber if it's not properly protected. This is a wooden post in school, and as it's rotted over time, it's become weaker, and all it took was someone to bump into it for the whole thing to break. So that can happen to timber that is left untreated. Don't forget, the first process in treating timber is seasoning. And seasoning is the process of reducing the moisture content in wood by drying it out in a controlled environment. It can be outdoors or indoors, depending on the results you want. And another benefit is that it prevents wood from warping, twisting, and changing shape. So seasoning is the first step to improving the qualities of timber. However, we're mainly concerned with wood rot. So what I want you to do now is write wood rot as a subtitle, underline that. And what I want you to do is summarize this information in as few words as possible. You can sketch as well if that will help you. So there are three main causes. What you see on the left is fungi, like a mushroom. You've got bacteria spores there, and parasite, like woodworm. So this information you need to reduce down to as few words as possible in your book. So do that now. If wood is exposed to the environment, it can become damp and it will rot. This causes wood to degrade and weaken. There are three possible causes of wood rot: bacteria, fungi, and parasites. Seasoning can help reduce the chance of rot by lowering the moisture content. However, to protect wood long term, a surface treatment or finish is needed. Softwood is especially vulnerable, so a surface treatment is important. Reduce that down to as few words as possible. Okay, when you've done that, we're also going to define the term weathering. If you look at the images there, you can actually see what weathering is. So once you've written the subtitle weathering, clearly it relates to the weather, doesn't it? So here's the definition. Can you reduce that down as well? So weathering is the change in material over time that is exposed to the outdoors. As wood is exposed to the outdoors, the changing wet, dry, hot and cold conditions discolour the wood and wear it down. It also contributes to rot, which makes the wood weaker. So mainly weathering is about the action of the weather on the appearance of wood. So the hot, the cold, the damp, the dry, over time it changes the appearance of wood and also contributes to rot. So that's weathering. Okay, the final thing you're going to make notes on today is about why we apply surface treatments and finishes, and you're going to do this in a table that will look something like that. Now, you don't know how many points you're going to make, so please don't actually put a bottom of the box. Allow yourself plenty of space to write. So you're going to reduce the information on this page down to as few points as possible, which are: there are two reasons for applying a finish to wood: aesthetics and protection. Surface treatments improve the aesthetics by altering colour, enhancing the natural grain, or giving it a shine, which we call gloss, or a matte surface finish. So what you can see in the image there is a glossy sheen from the finish. You can also have a matte finish which doesn't have a glossy shine. The other point, protection, is that surface treatment can make wood waterproof. It can reduce the chance of fungal or insect attack. It can make wood tougher, and it can make wood easier to wipe clean and disinfect, like imagine a kitchen dining table. So these points you need to summarize. Don't forget your table should look something like that. And a final point you might want to add, if you want the highest grades, you should know about a process called tannalizing, which is when wood preservative penetrates the surface of the wood. And this really increases protection because the surface treatment goes deep down. And that's really good for products like outdoor fence posting. Alright, so that's our notes for today. Make sure that all goes in your books. If you've got time left, why don't you add a few sketches that relate to the key terms we've been talking about. Okay, don't forget, pause, rewatch, go back if you need to make any further notes, and then we'll continue this in our next lesson. Thank you.